Well, hello there, Denise.
Hi.
How's it going?
Good. I'm trying to share this onto the Ambitious Groomer once I get there.
Didn't I just talk to you like yesterday?
We see each other a lot, Mary.
I know.
Is this live on your page? Oh, there it goes. Okay. It wasn't
Yeah,
refreshing.
there's a delay, a short delay.
Perfect.
Okay.
Got
So
it.
Denise and I are here. Possibly Michelle will join us if she remembers. The only issue is that she's in Arizona time zone, which is its own special little time zone.
Yes. I couldn't. So it's really cool not to participate in daylight savings time, but the rest of the world changes around you. And that would be really hard.
Yeah. So
Though I have to say, can I say being East Coast, it was wonderful being at Rocky Mountain, Arizona, and the time change happened. So coming back to the East Coast was so easy with the time change. I didn't even feel it. So it was wonderful.
yeah, for the first time ever, as Atlanta Pet Fair groomed for you, okay, didn't fall on the time zone change weekend.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, that was wonderful. Okay, so why are we here and what are we discussing?
Do you have my title?
Okay, it says, what does success look like for you?
Yes. So we came up with all these different titles and I was looking at them and they didn't speak to me. So I ran another one and I figured where we're both at, Mary, and including Michelle. I wish Michelle was here too, because I know she pivoted a lot. I thought it'd be really cool to talk about defining what success looks like because we get into business or we get into projects and we don't have any basis, any guidelines to what that will look like. And success is defined so differently. So the other facet to that for me is the whole comparison issue that we have going, right? We compare on social media and this person's doing so much more. And I'm not going to lie, like I would look at Mary and I'm like, oh my God, she's doing all this. I look at Michelle and I see her making leaps and bounds. And we compare ourselves to others without any regards of what's going on behind the scenes. So
Yeah,
that's why this one stuck out for me.
okay, and I agree with that because we could look at other people and thinking, oh my God, they're so successful, they're doing all the things, but not understanding what goes on in the background and how much did they plan for this. All right, because you know me, everything's got a checklist.
I don't, just saying.
Okay, everything's got a checklist. But I'm pivoting into writing, and I don't have a checklist for that, Denise.
Mary, now that makes more sense.
All right, because it's new, and in order for me to get that checklist going, I have to like get into it and see what it is I'm doing and where maybe it's not working, or maybe it could work better, or what actually is working. And until I do that, then I can't do really a checklist. One of the things is I'm taking, you and I have discussed this. So I'm taking all of my workshops that I have done over the years, and there's a lot of them. Okay. And I'm probably not going to be teaching them live anymore. But the work is done on it. I'm creating guides. And the first guide, I was basically winging it, seeing what I had to do. And then after that, every single guide that goes up there follows a checklist.
Yes, there's always the work behind it. I tell everyone, like, oh, I'm redoing my SOPs for work. And like I'm getting more detailed and I'm building pretty much like what Angie had. Mine won't be 800 pages, but had like the 800-page operations manual. I am getting into the nitty gritty because quite honestly, I don't like training people. So if I have more of a guide. I'm like, here you go. I can help you more this way. So it's a lot of work. It's a lot of time. It's a lot of time that I could be spending on something else. But guess what? We used the receptionist one for our new hire, and training went like that. And I'm like, exactly. And now there's resources and stuff like that. So the whole back end matters for your goals and what success looks like. So put in the work. Like that was my whole thing, is actually putting in the work now, and then it automates later.
Yes. Okay. So, I mean, so for just an example, all of a sudden my website is going to have all these guides on it, and it's going to look like they magically appeared there, and they did not magically appear.
Right.
Okay. All right. So, but success itself. So, and success can be measured in different things. Sometimes it's you finished a project that you wanted to do, and it's like over and done with. So it's there.
Mhm.
You don't have to deal with it anymore, and that's successful. All right. Right now, what success is looking like for me is radically different than if you were to ask me this question last year.
Part of my story comes from, and I can't remember where I just shared this. It may have been Pacific Northwest. I can't remember. I attained what I thought was success, right? Like all of my goals and what I defined as, okay, let me rephrase that. Success to me is a hard feeling, because it also, you have to have self-worth behind success as well. But I had goals, like major goals. And hindsight, that's what I thought my success would be. And I achieved all of my goals by the time I was 44. That was also the same year I was turning the same age as when my mom passed away.
Well, that's
And
tough.
so it was a huge thing. But my whole goal for life, right, what I thought would be successful was going, and it was successful, was building my business that would provide for my whole family. And in my head, I was still grooming till I was 80. It was building all of until retirement. And that's what it was going to be, was retirement. And then I realized that it sustained my whole family. We talked about in book club about Total Money Makeover. And that is what helped change us go into a debt free. So we were able to achieve all this by the time I turned 44. And trying to find a whole new goal, another definition of success, is so hard for me. I'm sure for others, it is a thing. I did talk to my sister-in-law. She is a therapist, a counselor. And I was just telling her a little bit about how I was feeling. And she's like, that's normal. People who like win gold medals have that hard fall. If you win bronze or silver, you still have something to work for, your whole life's purpose. So I had to redefine what success was, because in my world, I hit that already. And it was it's still a hard journey, but it's been a really hard journey redefining what that looks like in my world now. I'm not grooming, which I always thought I was going to be. I am grooming, but not like I don't do mass amounts of dogs. I'm not building a clientele. It's, and I found that I actually enjoy the business side, which I never thought I would. So, yeah, like defining what that is, and then having to redesign that. And I'm sure, Mary, you went through that with, retiring.
Well, because my thoughts of what I was going to be successful, it changed. So when I first started, I wanted to have a successful mobile grooming business that was also flexible and allowed me to take off whenever I wanted to. Okay.
Yep.
Then you know what, you achieve it, you achieve the goal, and then you go like, well, then what's next?
Right. You're just sort of like floundering there. I'm like, I don't know. I'm just sort of floating around. I don't know what's going on.
Well, that was the thing. Then you know what? I started positive educational training, and you know what? That took a little while to become successful. but it eventually did. And now I am again pivoting again. And so I personally am in that little floundering stage right now, trying to figure out what's working, what's not working. So.
Me too. That's why this whole like book journey. So we're both writing books. Like I didn't even think I would do this. Then it sort of pivoted. Well, I mean, ever since I even started speaking for the ambitious, like with the under the ambitious groomer, like ever since I started my speaking career, that every year I change it. I thought I wanted to do coaching, and I don't feel that. I thought I wanted to do evergreen. Right. Like, I'm like, I will do coaching. It is not the way that I want to make money at it. I enjoy picking and helping people in cases that I know that I could really help, and then refer out to others. So I will still do coaching, and I still do love to do strategy sessions. But to make that the longevity of the ambitious groomer, that wasn't going to be it.
Right. So the other half of the title was going to be, and did you write it down? And I think that is a really important part of trying to achieve goals, is writing them down, because if you don't, then you're just floundering. All right. So you could ask me, have I written my goals down yet for this new pivot in my career? And I will tell you the answer to that is no, I have not. And that's probably part of the reason why I'm floundering a little bit. Right. I don't know all of the things. And there's so much I don't know. And I'm relying on other people with far more knowledge to help me out. Or
go ahead.
Joining a group of people who are in the same boat as I am, and we're floundering together, one of us will come up with a solution.
It's community. Community is always huge.
Community is awesome.
So in my classes, one of the first things, especially the business, obviously in my business classes, branding or starting your business, is, do you have a mission statement? And I'm always so sad that I still, to this day, so when I was going to classes, God, I've owned my business 12 years. So you're talking about 15 to 20 years ago, when I was going to business classes. I'll never forget, this is where I got it from. Chris Berry, in every class she started was, who has a mission statement? Loved it. And loved it. And do you know the same amount of people raising their hand is still what it is 15 to 20 years later in my classes?
Yeah.
And I say, and the defining moment to that is, I'm like, how can anyone live by your standards, work for you, or clients abide for your branding standards if you don't even have them clearly defined for someone to follow?
Yes. All right.
And the light bulb goes off.
And a mission statement to be 2 sentences at best.
So easy. It's hard to evaluate. Yeah, 2 sentences. It's 2 to 3 sentences at most. And that's how I develop those for any of my projects too.
Yeah. I took a class with Joe Zuccarelli one time. One of the shows. All right. Great business classes too, by the way. And that was one of the things he started with mission statement. And he had asked people who had one. 2 of us raised my hand, myself and somebody else who I'm not going to name because I'm about to embarrass them. Okay. People raised their hands. And he picked the other person to read their mission statement, which was an entire page long.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which I thought was a really good teaching moment. Mission statement is not a page. It is 2 to 3 sentences on what it is what you do, what you offer. In which, if you ask me, do I have a mission statement right now? As I'm pivoting, the answer is no too.
And that's that whole writing it down.
Certain. That's that whole writing it down. All right. So now there'll be something added to my to-do list, make my mission statement.
I have, well, the dry erase board right now is empty because we haven't put anything on there. But I will write either my best looks like, what my goals are, like, and that could be anything. You could be like me and like I'm pretty humble, like I feel like I'm humble about my achievements. So like success is a hard term for me. So even if it's goals, right? Like what do you see for yourself and what goals do you want to attain? So when I was looking for a manager person, I wrote out what I was looking for and what I didn't want. So I will put it in my office. I'll have it on the dry erase board. So every time I'm in the office and I'm trying to make things up or I'm trying to, choose which direction to go, I have that as a reminder because it's in my face on my wall.
But you know what? You made a point earlier about Olympic gold medalists not having something to achieve. If you look there in my wall in the background, you see all those Barkley honors up there, including 3 contribution to the industry nominations. And I've been getting those nominations since 2012. All right. And my goal has always been to get one of those stupid medals. I wanted
You got
medal.
one.
I got one. And I got it last year. And like, I got the medal. And now this doesn't matter anymore.
Well, isn't that crazy? So because, and like, obviously I won the medal too. It was for a Pet Status Relief Fund. I have my 2 on my wall over on this side, and I was nominated for up and coming speaker contribution to the industry. And not that I obviously would take another contribution to, or any Barkley honor, but it is really cool things, Pet Status Relief Fund achieved this. I'm like, okay, I mean, we're going to do our good work, but like, I think it was surreal that we were even nominated, that we won. But yeah, it's that, what's the next thing?
What is the next step? So now I have to go look at some writing awards and set that as a goal. I'll have to look them up because I don't even know what they are.
Mine is international speaker. And Canada doesn't still do Canada. But to me, that doesn't count as international because here by the border. So, and so are you. So you sort of understand how that, like, we're not far from the border. Like, Canada's right there.
Across the street from me, I was like, yeah, hardly international.
Right.
But
so like that's my next one, and I would love to see if anyone's watching this, because I know I shared it on the Ambitious Groomer too. I would love to see, guess who there hasn't been. I don't think that there's been a nomination for a business speaker for Speaker of the Year. We're overlooked. So that would be a really cool accomplishment too on that side.
Overlooked. Is there any safety program is overlooked?
They're not fun. Yes. They're not.
Because we're teaching. I don't want to say the dry stuff, but
it is
the dry stuff.
I try to make it fun. Right.
We do our best, but it is still
correct.
What can we say?
Right.
That said,
so yeah, we had to pivot, and success is different, and success is going to change, and you have to redefine. It was really cool. Where were we? Where was I? Oh, it was one of our last lives that we had when oh gosh, now I can't remember who it was. Michelle had made comment that was really cool to hear that she could pivot in her business. Yeah, you had to pivot, but you also had to write it down so you have that goal, that beacon to help guide you with the choices to attain that as well. And I think that's where I see a lot of people when they open up businesses. They know what they want their business to look like, but it's never defined in writing. to go back to, and they lose sight of how to get there. Or my class, I had somebody, my 4-hour one, and one of the questions, if you get somebody who comes in who work for you, but they don't want to use your base, then they don't have a job. Like, I don't make exceptions. I know what my business needs to be successful, and one person changing those rules is not going to work. But if I didn't have that defined, and I felt like I had to hire anybody because out of necessity or out of fear or whatever that is, or you didn't want to lose somebody, if I didn't have that defined, then it would be really easy to go down that path of, well, it's just one person. We can make this work. I can make it work, but my whole flow and my whole brand will suffer. So having that written down and knowing it wouldn't tempt me to bend the rules just because.
You know what? So one of the things that Denise is doing, I'm beta reading her books. And that's the one that I'm reading. Can I say the name of it?
Yeah, most certainly.
Reclaim It.
Reclaim It. Mm-hmm.
So I'm about halfway through the book. Okay. And what I like about it is it follows a path. Okay. Where you are now, what everything looks like, how is this happening? And then getting into how do we fix this? And I think you were so spot on with the type of people who work in grooming shops, who are the way they are through no fault of their own, but from lack of leadership.
Mm-hmm. Lack of leadership and traumatic past experiences that they didn't necessarily have the best upbringing, potentially, or neurodivergent, where they learn differently and they struggled coming up. It's just not the types, because I don't want to stereotype anybody, but it's the personalities that we could have the real personalities that we could have in our facility. And it's just, how do you deal with them? Or do you?
All right, because, and just to bring this like into the animal world, which we are very familiar with, if somebody doesn't assume the leadership position, somebody will assume it for you.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So I currently have 3 dogs, one of whom is right here, snoozing away. Okay. But he's not actually in charge here. Speedy G is in charge. And he's not overt about it. But he sets the feeding schedule for everybody. All right. He sets when it's time to get up in the morning and when it's time to go to bed. Cecil thinks he does that, but he doesn't. It's Speedy who does that. So, and the other 2 dogs really don't mess with him at all.
Right.
Whatever Speedy wants. Otherwise, he's going to scream at us.
Right.
So, but looking at my dogs, you would never just think that Speedy was in charge.
Mm-hmm.
But it's more that subtleness. You understand what I'm trying to say? That subtleness that says he's in charge, he's the leader here, and that's it. What he says goes.
There's little nuances, there's little energy shifts, there's little minute things that makes you see that. Right? Like if you're paying attention, but they're very subtle.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I mean, for Speedy has a little blanket on the sofa that he likes to crawl under, and that is his, nobody else's. Right. And every once in a while, Pooh will go, "This is really soft. I think I'm going to sit on it." And Speedy doesn't tolerate that for too long.
Fair enough.
You know?
Don't blame him.
But anyway, somebody, if you don't take leadership somebody else will. But getting back to the topic at hand, at writing things down. So it's on the top of my to-do list. Probably not today because I'm pretty sure I'm done for the day. So my to-do list for tomorrow is that I really do need to write out my mission statement and set what's the goal I want from this. Because even my gardening, I have a goal. I haven't set a goal here.
Mhm.
Okay, I think one of us froze. there
So
for a
yeah,
second.
I started to hear me.
Yeah, I can hear you.
So okay, good. So I said I do have a mission statement for the Ambitious Groomer and what I want to achieve with that, and all of my choices revert back to that. Does it align with that mission? Does it align with my goal for what I want to achieve? So that's what you have to define and put into writing what this looks like that you want to achieve, whatever your success, your goals, however you want that to look, because it's a nice little map to get you there.
Well, absolutely. Absolutely. Because like I said, I'm just a little bit floundering, which is not sitting well with me, Denise.
I don't mind floundering a little, but no, I know for
Yeah.
you with your checklist and how, yes, I understand. Floundering is not your thing.
It is not my thing, so I need to change that, and that'll be done tomorrow.
And then she's going to send me her mission statement.
Then I'm going to send her my mission statement and my ultimate goals, my list of goals that I want to accomplish. And I'm not going to make them easy goals because there's going to be at least one goal on there that's going to culminate with a writing award and like a fairly prestigious one. So
I like it. I think, and if anyone is watching this on the replay, I would love if you, because we'll see the comments afterwards too. I would love to know what your goals are as well. I think it'd be really cool to read people's goals.
You know what? That would be actually really nice. We should put up something that maybe we on an upcoming live stream. We do that. We read people's goals, if for nothing else, for
I
inspiration.
love that.
And by that time, I'll have my goal too. So we could start off with there. Okay.
I like it.
All right. So we're at time.
Perfect.
And so 2nd and 4th, this is the 4th Tuesday. We'll be back on the 2nd Tuesday of July. That'll be after Prep Pro Classic. Perfect timing.